You could hear YouTube.
The YouTube one is timed to start
After we start.
Yeah, now basically. But yeah, I don't know where I should be seeing it in Facebook.
Give it about 1 minute.
Oh, I just came on.
Okay.
All right, let's let folks in. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. I am so delighted that you've joined us for this triple play of an occasion. We've got Shabbat. It happens every week, and it happens to happen right now. So in addition to Shabbat, it is Shemini Atzeret. Let me repeat that. It's Shemini Atzeret. It's the most important, least understood holiday of the high holiday season, and I'll be talking about it a little bit more in a minute. And in the context of all this holiness, all this celebration, we are also celebrating Sydney Shavira becoming bat mitzvah this evening. So she's going to take a big part of the service. I've already asked her if she wants to speak tonight. She says no, she's going to speak tomorrow, so I'll say a few words. That's kind of our ritual. I always head fake the bat mitzvah students right before we get started. Helps everything else feel easier. So with that, just a quick note, because we are going into a Chag, because we're going into a festival, we don't have the same kind of Kabbalat Shabbat, the same kind of ascendancy, because the Chag is enough to lift us up. We are, however, going to start with lighting the candles for Shabbat and for Yom Tov. The candles are already lit, but we're going to say the blessing to dedicate them. And then we are going to join together for the Psalm for Shabbat because it's still Shabbat, but I'll call that page number when we get there. For right now, I want to pass the camera over to Nell Chapel, where Sydney and her sister Stella and her mother Jolene are going to say the blessings for the candles.
Okay, ready?
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'chad likner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. And now, as promised, we're going to go to the Psalm for Shabbat, Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat on page 23, page 23. in your Siddur. If we don't have it up already, in just a moment, we're going to post a copy of the PDF of this Siddur in the chat. And so if you don't have it yet, you'll be able to download it in just a minute. If you have our blue Sim Shalom Siddur, we're on page 23. Or if you know it, just sing along with us.
Let's then turn to page 23 as we join together. Let's do it again.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this Shabbat, for this Chag, for this celebration with the Shavira family. And I'm really pleased wherever you're coming from, you're in the right place, and we can all celebrate together. And I promise I'd tell you a little bit more about Shemini Atzeret, and I will tell you a little bit more about Shemini Atzeret because I want to get on to hearing Sydney lead us in prayer. So we were reading last week in the Torah portion that's associated with Sukkot. It's actually kind of a laundry list of all the holidays. And it says on this day of this month, you're going to do this, and it involves crackers. And on this day of this month, we receive the Torah and you eat cheesecake. That might be a midrash. I didn't see cheesecake in there. But then you're going to have a day of blowing trumpets. And then you're going to have a day of afflicting your souls in repentance. And then 5 days after that, you are going to spend a week camping, and you're going to dwell in Sukkot. You're going to dwell in these in tabernacles is the most awkward translation for that. It sounds like something you'd find on a boat. But then it gets to this almost nondescript day. It says on the 8th day, or it says you will have a day of assembly on the 8th. Assembly on the 8th, or Shemini Atzeret. It's the 8th day of assembly. And it doesn't really say what you're assembling for. You've already spent a whole week with these people. If you're even in the, you might be in the same town where you were spending Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So, it's been a while, and the last few days, the lodgings haven't been that great. We've been in a hut where, the rain can come on us and everything, if we're lucky. Because on Shmini Atzeret, there is a turning point in the agricultural calendar. All these days are holy days that remind us of events in our history connected to redemption. When God redeems us from slavery, that's why we celebrate Pesach. When we receive the Torah in the desert, as a free people, we can do anything we want. What should we do? And we get the answer on Shavuot. Sukkot is a little bit more broad. Rather than being the one day of leaving Egypt or the one day of receiving the Torah, this week of Sukkot commemorates 40 years, because the entire time we were wandering in the wilderness, we dwelt in these temporary, not so solid structures. That's the thing about wandering in the wilderness. And but somehow we were kept protected, we were kept dry. And then we reap the fruits of our labor. After that wandering, the fruit that we reaped was the promised land. Sukkot is also connected to the fall harvest. It's not just about the tenuousness of wandering. It's about the tenuousness of raising your food from the earth every single year. And every single harvest could be radically different. We don't know when we plant what we're going to reap. What we know for sure is that on the day of the reaping, that's the best day of the year, whether it's good or bad. It does, once you've brought in your harvest, that is all you get. And so we celebrate. This is why we read Kohelet tomorrow. We're celebrating that whether it's a good year or a bad year, we bless God for the year that we got to live and the chance at another year. And so maybe that's why at the end of all this festivity, we could do one more day together. We could have this 8th day of assembly where we say, let's take stock of all that we have and let's look to the future. How we do that on Shmini Atzeret. This is one time, we don't do this prayer any other time of the year. We open up the ark at the Musaf Amidah and we pray for rain. It's this ceremony called Geshem. And the cantor tomorrow will sing this beautiful liturgical poem all about rain, about how our lives are enhanced with water. Because this is the time of the year in the ancient Near Eastern agricultural calendar where we would shift from the rainy season. God willing, you got all your crops in before it started to rain. And as soon as your crops are in, that's when you got to think about your next crop. And so what I invite you to do, even as we are getting to the end of this holiday season, and not for nothing, rabbis always say, thank God it's Cheshvan, because that's the first month we have with no holidays in it. And everybody gets to relax a little bit. But just take a look at all that we've celebrated together over the last few days. Take a look at just a minor but major example. Take a look at the harvest that's happening right now with all the learning that Sydney has done. She's able to lead in this community as an adult. She's able to teach Torah tomorrow at least as well as I can. And I've heard it. It's pretty good. I'm not going to spoil it any further than that. But think of all we've accomplished. And then we ask God's help for all we can accomplish yet. That's, to me, the point of Shmini Atzeret. It's about being grateful for all that we have and being hopeful for all that we can do together. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach and Mazel Tov to the Shavir family. Thank you all for being here to witness this. We are going to continue in our service with our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu, and that is on a page, and that page is page 28, and Sydney's going to lead us in the Baruch Hu. Everybody please rise for this.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch
Adonai
Adonai
Borach
Borach
Leolam
Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai.
Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yon uven laila, Adonai tzavot shemo, el havakayam, tamidim lo aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Shmo.
Ha'ma'ariv aravim.
Amen. We bless God for the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun and the bringing of evening. You may be seated as we go on page 29 to bless God for the abundant and constant love which God offers us and teaches us to offer to each other. Page 29, Havat Olam.
Let's join together. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בנרי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נהגי יומם ולילה נהגי יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל אוהב עמו ישראל. We continue with the Shema. Sydney leads us in the prayer.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'afta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol lebavcha, uv'chol nefshecha, uv'chol me'odecha, ve'hayu hadvarim ha'elech, asher Anohi metzuvcha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'divartam bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha b'derech, uv'shuvtecha uv'kumecha, uv'kshartam leot al yodecha, v'hayu tutafot b'neinecha, uv'tavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'yisharecha.
And continue reading the second passage of the Shema on page 30, at the bottom of the page 30 at your own pace, and we'll get back together for the third passage in just a moment.
ואם שמוע תשמעו מצוות אשר אנוכי מצווה אתכם.
We join together as Sydney leads us at the top of page 31, page 31.
Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, Daber el bnei Yisrael, ve'amarta alehem, ve'asu lahem tzitzit, al kanfei vigdehem ledorotam, ve'natnu al tzitzit hakanaf, patilet tehelet, ve'chaya lachem letzitzit, uritam oto, uzechartem et kol mitzvot Adonai, ve'asitem et autam, ve'lo taturu, achalei levavhem, ve'achalei einehem, asher atem zonim ahaleihem, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים להיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
אמת ואמונה כל זאת וקיים עלינו כי אדוני אלוהינו זאת.
We're on page 32, page 32. In just a moment, we're going to get to Mi Chamocha, which is a quotation from the song at the sea, a time of our great redemption and joy, asking, who is like our God among all who is worshipped?
מלכותו ברצון כאילו עליהם הרשום מרים ובני ישראל לכנו שירה ושמחה רבה ואמרו כולם. Let's join together in the middle of the page.
On page 33, we turn to Hashkivenu. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Hashkivenu on page 33. Let's sing together.
Baruch atah
Baruch Baruch
Adonai.
Shemo.
הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו, ואל כל עמו ישראל, ואל ירושלים.
Amen. On page 34, we have an old tune, old as Exodus, about 3,300 years, all about Shabbat, page 34.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. אוי 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 ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
Sydney is going to lead us on page 34 in the Hatzi Kaddish, and from there we move into the Amidah. This means standing. This is our time for private, personal meditation. And for this Amidah in the evening, we don't say the words out loud. We don't sing it as a song. It's just your time to pray, to lean on the words from our tradition that are on the page. That's going to start on page 41b. But if you have something else to add that's not on the page, that's okay too. Whatever you're praying for, whatever you're grateful for, whatever you're asking for, whatever you need right now, this is your time to meditate on it. But we're going to start with Sydney leading us in the Hatzi Kaddish on page 34.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'amla divra kirute, ve'amlich malhute, v'chayehonu v'yamechon, ufhayedehu ve'Yisrael, ba'gala, ba'gala, uvitman karim, ve'imeru.
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Leolam Alal Me'an Maya Yitbarach.
Bara, Yitbara, V'yishtaba, V'yitba'ar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitale, V'yitalal, Shemei V'kudisha,
Brihu.
Le'ela min kol birhata, V'shirata, Tushbehata, V'nechemata, Damiran Be'alma, Ve'imeru.
Amen. The festival Amidah once more begins on page 41b. We rise for this prayer, and whenever you are finished with your personal prayer, you are free to be seated. And we'll get back together in just a little while.
הגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני, צורי וגואלי, אמן. עושה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, אמן, אמן. עושה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. ועל כל
We conclude this prayer with the Kaddish Shalem, led by Sydney Shavira on page 48. Actually, she's in the chapel. The prayer is on page 48. Please turn to page 48 and listen to Sydney.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה,
Amen.
ועמלה דברכותי והמליך מלכותי, וחייכון וביומכון, ובחייתהו בישראל, בגלל וזמן קרים ואמרו.
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Leolam Almei Almaya Yitbarach.
יתברא וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי וקודשה.
Brichu.
לעילה מן כל ברכתה, ושירתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמא ואמרו.
Amen.
תתקבל צלותון ובאותון דכל ישראל, קדם ובאותון וישמעיה ואמרו.
Amen.
יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו.
Amen.
עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי הבל, ואמרו.
Amen. Shkoyach. So our next prayer is, we're going to rise for this one as well. This is called the Aleinu. And Sydney, I'm going to ask you to turn around and stay standing as your parents open the ark in the chapel. And the honor of opening the ark goes to Daniel. So it's not your parents, it's your dad and your sister, Daniel and Stella Shavira. I call that running to do a mitzvah. Everyone else, please rise. We're on page 51.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא עשה בנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים. על כן נקווה לך אדוני אלוהינו לעולמים. כי המלכות שלך היא, וללמיה תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
As Daniel and Stella return to close the ark, and once the ark is closed, you may be seated. You may be seated. Thank you. Even as we gather together with joy in this holiday and on this Shabbat and in this celebration for the Shavira family, we're also acutely reminded of those who are no longer with us. And this is a moment in the service where we acknowledge those who have left the world. And this week, this coming week, we're marking the Yahrzeit of Alexander David, April Hagen, V. Beyer, Beatrice Several, Bernard Blumenfeld, Charles Liebman, Charles Sussman, Craig Mendelson, Donald Ellie Vitkin, Dorothy Fabish, Edward Spira, Edwin Smith, Elaine Weiss, Faye Katz, Florence Aderhold, Howard Crackman, Hi Vigo, Ida Gordon, Isaac Hadara, Kenneth Pratt, Leo Cohen, Libby Balkin, Lillian Schwartz, Linda Gale Scanlon, Lori Minovitz Brandstetter, Margarita Fisher, Marshall Alper, Marshall Gumbener, Maurice Sauls, Melinda Mulvaney, Meta Mendel, Millie Werner, Murray Morrow, Noam Parker, Rose Paper, Seymour Spar, Sherman Feinsilver, Solbert Handler, Sidney Kirshen, Tavos Yanesi, and Therese Beller. If there is another name that's weighing in your heart, I invite you to hold that name in your heart as we pray the Mourner's Kaddish, or say that name aloud wherever you are right now. And I'll ask anyone who is in mourning or observing a Yahrzeit to please rise for the Kaddish Tome, the Mourner's Kaddish, which is on page 52. Page 52. Please pray with me. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah,
אמן.
ba'alma divra kirutei, be'amlik malchutei, b'chayechon ufyomechon, ufchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach leolam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'pa'ar v'tramam v'naseh v'tadar v'taleh v'talal shmei dekudsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. If you're standing, you may be seated. We move from a moment of kavod, of honor and of heaviness, to a moment of great joy. And I want to make sure that Sydney is standing where I can see her, and her she's spotlighted so everyone can see her, because this is the time where we shower her not only with love, but with presents. And so as we're still sort of figuring out this Zoom way of doing services, it's my honor to present several gifts on behalf of our glorious volunteers, our illustrious leaders of the USY, of Sisterhood, of Men's Club, and our education department. Very first, the USY, our United Synagogue Youth, our youth group here, would like to present you with your very own, let's see what you got. I think there's a bencher in there somewhere.
There we go.
Yes, we got the B'Kol Echad bencher, and that's all sorts of prayers you could say around the table, songs you can sing with your family, with your friends. I've heard the words ruach and sloach used often, where these are happy songs. They're laid back songs, and they're all in there for when you, God willing, are a part of our youth group, and when youth group can be together. And I know the youth group right now is getting together however they have to and however they can. So when you join them, use that in good health. And I see Melissa doing one of these. So I'm excited for both of you. It's now my honor to present on behalf of the Sisterhood, and the Sisterhood knows I can't be trusted to speak, so they gave me some words here, and I'm going to share them with you right now. Sydney, your Sisterhood is extremely honored to share this very special occasion with you, your family, and your friends. It is also our pleasure to present you with a gift on the occasion of your bat mitzvah. We trust this Kiddush cup. Hold it up, Kiddush cup. It might still be in the box. We trust this Kiddush cup will be a reminder of your accomplishments and heritage. Enjoy your day and be proud. Congratulations.
Thank
This is
you.
Kiddush cup on behalf
Woo!
of our wonderful Sisterhood.
Mazel tov.
And now I'm going to move to the Men's Club. I know Eric Schleck would be loved to be making this speech right now, but I'm going to do it instead. And so the Men's Club is presenting you. I don't know if you can open it, if that's bad luck.
No,
before
no,
the
no,
big
it's not
day.
that one.
It's not that one. It's a different one.
It's a
It's gonna be
little,
long and
little
skinny.
box. A little box all the way at the end. That one.
That looks right. Can you
Yard.
point to what does it look like? Is that a magic
You
wand?
can open it.
It's a yard.
Feels like we're in Diagon Alley. No, it's not. It's a yad. So this is a yad, and we don't have the extreme close-up camera here, but what I'll tell you is on the very end of that is a hand going like this, and yad is Hebrew for hand. And it's not just a pretty thing to put in a pen holder. This is a very special tool, an instrument that Sydney is going to be using tomorrow when she reads from the Torah. Our custom is that we don't touch the Torah directly with our fingers, not because it's magic or we give it cooties or something. It's just that the Torah scrolls are handwritten. So that's 5 books of the Torah that take one person about 1 year to write. And if we touch them with our fingers, it might rub a letter off the oils of our fingers, and we'd have to get a whole new one. So what we do instead is we read it with a yad. And tomorrow, as Sydney takes hold of our tradition, takes hold of Jewish learning herself, in her hand, she's going to have this hand from the Men's Club to help guide her through. So you might want to leave that here tonight. So it'll be where you remember it tomorrow. So thank you to the Men's Club, and I know they're very, very proud of you. And last but not least, on behalf of our education department, our LBSRS and Rabbi Amy Gerasi, we're going to present you with a bar mitzvah certificate suitable for framing. See, I told you so. It's already in a frame. So this is your bar mitzvah certificate. You hang this up in your room. Maybe you take it and hang it up on your wall in college or wherever you go in life. You will have this testament to your accomplishment in Jewish learning.
Thank you.
And there's also a Hanukkah from the classmates. Is that the blue bag with the tissue paper? Jackpot. You have not only
Yeah.
did Rabbi Amy give you something, but from your classmates in the
Woo.
LBSRS, you have this. And hang on to that. That's going to come in handy here in a couple of months because, thank heaven, that's the next Jewish holiday. So hold on to that. And when the world is at its darkest, when the days are their shortest, you will be lighting that, remembering this moment, remembering all your classmates who have been your lights this whole time. So mazel tov on your bat mitzvah, and these are gifts richly, richly deserved. And now we'll we'll excuse Sydney for just a minute. Don't go anywhere. We're almost done. I just want to give a few community announcements, if that's all right with you, to let you know all the other great stuff that's going on here. I want to thank everybody who made this service possible. I want to thank all of the internet gremlins for staying away this evening. And so we're really glad everybody could be here. Tomorrow, we will be back. Tomorrow, we continue with Shabbat and with Shemini Atzeret and with this celebration of Bat Mitzvah at 9:30 a.m. And if you're coming in on Zoom or StreamSpot or YouTube or Facebook, use the exact same link you used to get here, and we will be waiting for you. That service starts at 9:30 a.m. And for people who make it a point to be at these kinds of things, there will be a Yizkor service tomorrow during the Torah service as well. This is one of the 4 times of year we have a Yizkor service. So that's happening tomorrow. And then the next day, it's still a holiday. We're still doing services. In fact, it is Simchat Torah. This means rejoicing in the Torah, because we're almost done. On this Sunday, we read the very last passage of the Torah, and then we scroll it back again, and we start again at the very beginning. And that will be a live like this Torah service where we'll have readers and we'll have aliyot, just like we're having tomorrow. We'll have that on Sunday as well. I should let you know that you could save the date on a few things. Next weekend at the Shabbat service, we are celebrating the Bar Mitzvah. It's Shabbat, and we're celebrating the Bar Mitzvah of Eli Axel. So that is next Friday and Saturday, the 16th and the 17th. You should know that in between, the Interfaith Study Group is having a Zoom connection on the nature, the topic of nature as sacred space. That's happening tomorrow at 5 p.m. We have a rescheduled virtual town hall meeting. The Jewish Federation of the San Gabriel Valley is having a town hall meeting with the Israeli Consul General, Dr. Hillel Newman. That's going to be amazing. It's on October 20th at 7 p.m. Via Zoom. Check out the Jewish Federation of the San Gabriel Valley for more info on that. And I've been asked by Judy several times to remind you that we have a wonderful class coming up. This is the Melton School of Adult Jewish Learning. We've done this for a year or two now here at PJTC. We're starting up our next Melton class, which is called Member of the Tribe. That is a 6-section class that's every Thursday night starting on October 15th at 7:30, taught by Rabbi John. Oh, Rabbi John Carrier is going to be teaching that class. And then we're going to be doing that on Thursday. And so our next social hall is going to be on a Tuesday. So please note, no religious school tomorrow. If you come here and you say, well, there's no religious school, maybe I'll go to Simchat Torah services, you should then go home and log into that. So no religious school tomorrow. And finally, thank you all for joining us. We're glad to be able to celebrate you and celebrate with you in a safe and joyous way. It is our custom at this point, if I didn't forget anything else, that we are going to end this service as we began, and that is in joyous song. So feel free, wherever you are. You don't often get a chance to sing like no one's listening. You're in your homes, wherever you are. Let your voices out and sing with us as we celebrate Shabbat, celebrate Shemini Atzeret, and celebrate the Shavira family. Let's hear your voices, because I know we can feel them wherever you are. Thank you all for being here.
And as we conclude with song, I'm going to ask Abby or whoever is, I think it's Abby tonight, to spotlight no one so we can all see each other and have a wonderful Odiavo Shalom together. So I'm not sure how you do that, but good luck. Odiavo Shalom Aleinu. Odiavo Shalom Aleinu. Odiavo Shalom Aleinu.
Shabbos, good Yontif, and stick around for Kiddush. So in just a moment, we're going to have Kiddush. Ruth, you got all this stuff up there?
Mhm. Yes, I have
Okay,
some
so-
stuff, and the family in the Nell Chapel has a little bit of Kiddush cups there, so they can join us.
Okay,
So I'm going to get my cup. Hold on.
up here? Okay, the plate?
Everyone grab your Kiddush cups. And since it is Shemini Atzeret, instead of the regular Kiddush, we have a little bit of a different Kiddush, which if you are following in the Siddur, we're on page 50. But let's first do what corresponds for Shabbat. ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום השישי, ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. And with a different melody a little bit for חג. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל עם, ורוממנו מכל לשון, וקידשנו במצוותיו. ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה, שבתות עם מלוכה ומועדים לשמחה, חגים וזמנים לששון. את יום השבת הזה ואת יום השמיני חג עצרת הזה, זמן שמחתנו באהבה מקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת עם כל העמים, ושבת ומועדי קודשך באהבה ורצון ושמחה וששון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני
ברוך שמו.
מקדש השבת וישראל והזמנים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. לחיים.
Amen, l'chaim.
L'chaim. Tasty.
All right, now it's time to wash our hands. As DJ Lance Rock says, it's fun to wash your hands, and the blessing, even though it's Shemini Atzeret, is exactly the same as it usually is. You can wash your hands at home or just wash along with me and say amen to the blessing.
Wash your hands. Taste it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim.
Amen. And
Now,
last,
Cantor Ruth has the challah.
yes, last but not least, I have some challah here. And let's join together. You guys have challah there. Very good. So we lift it up. And let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. Chag Sameach, Shabbat Shalom. You can eat a little piece of that delicious challah. It looks great there.
Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow at 9:30.
Guys. Bright and early. Oh, Kathy. Melissa, do you want some? Okay, now that we touched it all.
Okay.
Good New Year, book.
Turn us on mute.